Herkese iyi akşamlar arkadaşlar. Hello everyone. Welcome to our lesson. It is starting now. Hemen şimdi başlıyoruz. Bugün Türkçe'de conditional ya da if clauses cümleleri öğreneceğiz. Today we will learn conditional sentences or if clauses in Turkish. First, there will be a quick list of the if clause and basic tenses, like how it works, what it is, and etc. And then we will learn different tenses and we will combine the if clause with each tense, like if in the past, if in the present, and if in the future. Okay? So let's go. So if clause is basically, as you can see in the image, like if this, then that. Like if a condition is like if a condition happens, it will have a result. A result will happen in case the condition happens. So let's just go and have our definition. So what is a conditional or if clause? It's basically a condition or like a relationship between a condition and results. There will be an if clause and there will be a main clause. The clause is like a little sentence within a bigger sentence, like a group of words. So like if this happens, then this happens. Basically, that's the idea. And how does it work? So I made this table to show the difference between English and Turkish. So you can see the construction in a comparison. So like if X happens, then Y happens. Like if you run, you get tired. And like if X olursa, o zaman Y olur. Eğer koşarsan, wait, yorulursun. There's a little typo here. Yorulursun. Koşarsan yorulursun. If you run, you get tired. So this eğer koşarsan part is our if clause. And yorulursun is our main clause. It's the result of the condition. If this condition happens, this main clause happens. So I said that the conditional is eğer and sa, but I used a different R here. Koş, verb stem, R, and sa for if, and n for you. But what is this R? This R is a time suffix, a tense suffix. It's our aorist tense suffix, like the general tense. Like there will be a combination of tenses and if clauses, as you saw in the overview. There are also personal markers like this, like it indicates whoever did the action. As you can see, in Turkish we don't use, sometimes we use, sometimes we don't use the pronouns, like there's no you here. The you is the n in this case. So for now, that structure is easy. There's just a tense and sa for if. But what if we use other tenses? There are so many basic tenses. There are 5 of them. 5 tane basic tense var. Şimdi onları görelim. Let's see our tenses. I will have these small. Bir dakika. Oh, here. So past tense with the, past tense with mış, aorist tense, continuous tense, and future tense. These are the basic tenses in Turkish. These have some suffixes like the, mış, ar, ıyor, and acak. The uppercase letters mean like they have vowel harmonies. So it's not always the, or it's not always ıyor. Sometimes it's iyor, sometimes it's uyor, sometimes it's uyor. You can see the vowel harmony rules later. In your free time, you can go to Google Drive and you can have more information on the basic tenses and vowel harmony rules. For now, that's just a quick reminder. We will combine the if, like we will combine sa or se with these suffixes, like saydı, saymış, or arsa, iyorsa, and acaksa. Okay, so what are we going to do now? I made a complete list of conjugations with like all the tenses and if clause, like so. There are colors to indicate which suffix does what. Hangi suffixin ne işe yaradığını gösteren renkler var. This table looks a little bit scary, probably. Muhtemelen biraz korkunç görünüyor ama when you have practice, you will see some patterns and it will be very predictable. It's just like making like a or solving like a puzzle. There's always a certain set of rules. Like if you're talking about you, if you want to say like if you will choose this. And what is your tense? In which time are you talking about? For example, you're talking about the future, geleceksen. Or if you're talking about we, like us, biz. And if you're talking about right now, then you go to this, geliyorsak, if we are coming. If you're talking about they, onlar, and if you're talking about the past, onlar geldiyseler or onlar geldilerse. I will explain why there are two alternatives in onlar in a little bit. Um, it uses ke in every tense with this if clause, by the way. Yeah, it inherits the past tense's ending, like geleceksek, geliyorsak. But of course, these, for example, continuous tense ending for biz is not a ke. If you remove the sa here, then it becomes geliyoruz, or it becomes geliriz. In the if clause, biz uses ke for each tense. Okay, let me play a new song, by the way. That one just stopped. It ended. Yeah, let's go with this one. Okay, so why does the onlar has two alternatives? And why is there two columns in the past tense? I think some of you know the difference between geldiysem and gelseydim. First, I will mention that difference now, then I will explain it in details. Önce bundan bahsedelim, sonra detaylı bir şekilde anlatacağım. So onlar has two alternatives. This is mostly about preference of the native speakers. Some people may prefer geldiyseler, some people may prefer geldilerse. Or some people may prefer gelmişlerse, some people may prefer gelmişseler. So I can't know or guarantee which person will use which option, but from what I remember, from what I experienced, most of the time the top option, the first one, is more common than the other one. Like geliyorlarsa is a little bit more common than geliyorsalar. Or geleceklerse is a little bit more common than gelecekseler. But you can see the other way. Both are okay. And the, why is there two columns in the the? There are two, like se after the, se before the. This changes the meaning completely, but it's actually a little bit difficult to understand. So I want to spare a separate slide for it. We'll talk about the difference when we move to the tenses. So if you have consumed this table, like if you understood everything, like maybe you can't memorize everything for now, but if you understood how the table works, how you choose the correct option, we can move to this. If clause in different tenses, past, present, and future. So like eğer, mış, are, iyor, acak. So we will go over each combination, like sa with the, and the other alternative, mış with sa, are with sa, iyor with sa, acak with sa. We will go over all of them. So we are starting with this, the past tense and if clause, the like sa with the. So this phrase in English will translate to zengin bir adam olsaydım in Turkish. But this is from, I think it's a movie. There was a song like this. For some reason, the official translation was Ah bir zengin olsam. I don't know why they went with this translation, but sometimes people change the things when they translate movie titles. But the correct translation or the direct translation will be olsaydım. Anyway, that's not the main point here. It's just to show you how it works. And now let's memorize our table. Let's see it again. Geldiysem, geldiysen, geldiyse, geldiysek, geldiyseniz, geldiyseler, geldilerse. En geldiysem, geldiysen, gelseydi, gelseydik, gelseydiniz, gelseydiler, or gelselerdi. So now, what is the difference? We are now, you know, um, moving to the important and fancy part. What is the difference between these two? Geldiysem or gelseydim? I want to believe some of you already know the difference, but I will try to explain this in for people who are not even familiar with all of this grammar. So it will be very beginner friendly. So the dise, this first part, like the result is dependent on the previous condition. Like if it happened, then X will happen. If it did not happen, then Y will happen. So it just depends on the condition. Like if true, then this, if false, then that. But saydı is more like unreal past tense or hypothetical past tense or like what if past tense. Like if something had happened, then this would have happened. Like, think about like an old event. Maybe you're talking about your childhood, or like right now you're an adult, then you're talking about your childhood, then you say like, if this had happened in my childhood, my life would have been different right now. Okay, and we will just dive into more details in the next slide. This is just the introduction. So let's have some examples with dıysa. That one is first. So I made this little, um, it's not a complete, it's not really a timeline. It's just a graphic to show you how it works. Oh, we are missing the arrows. Okay, like this. Like, if X happened, then Y happens. If X didn't happen, then Z happens. Depending on whether or not the X happened, we have different outcomes. So let's have an example. Like this. Yemek yaptın mı? I will translate this for beginners. Yemek yaptın mı? Did you cook food? Did you make food? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Evet, hayır. Yes or no. If you cooked food, like if you did it, let's eat inside, let's eat at home. Let me translate this. If you did cook food, let's eat at home. Yemek yaptıysan evde yiyelim. And if maybe you didn't cook food, if you didn't cook food, let's eat outside. Dışarıda yiyelim. So the result depends on whether or not I made food. Yes or no. A different example but very similar. Ödevini yaptın mı? Did you do your homework? Ödevini yaptın mı? Yes or no. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. In case you did your homework, like if you did your homework, now you can play a game. Şimdi oyun oynayabilirsin. But if you didn't do your homework, şimdi oyun oynayamazsın. If you didn't do your homework, now you can't play a game. First, you need to do your homework. So, whether or not I can play a game right now depends on if I did the homework. If I did it, yaptıysam oynayabilirim. Yapmadıysam oynayamam. So that's the dıysa suffix. Basically, a condition in the past. If the condition happened, something will happen. If it didn't happen, a different outcome will happen. Okay, and the next one, of course, the other past tense. The side example. Um, I can change this title. It's still Lisa. That's what I'm trying to do. For some reason, it's stuck. Anyway, so let's have our timeline again. Oh, of course. Now I can change it. Yes. Here. This one is a little bit more complicated, as you can see. Same logic here. If X happened, then this happens. This is the current timeline, by the way. This already happened. Like this result is already in the timeline. But you are thinking back about a point of time in the past, then you are making like an imaginary situation. Like instead of X, if Y had happened, then a completely different outcome would have happened, and the timeline would go in a different direction. Your life will be different. Okay, I hope this is easy to understand. I hope this is not too confusing. So let's have our examples again. Yemek yaptın mı? Evet or hayır. So, yemek yapmasaydın dışarıda yerdik. If you hadn't cooked food, we would have eaten outside. Yemek yapmasaydın dışarıda yerdik. But you made the food, so we are eating at home. And did you make food? Did you cook food? Hayır. No, I didn't. Yemek yapsaydın evde yerdik. If you had cooked, oops, one O, cooked food, we would have eaten at home. So this is like we are going to eat outside or we are already eating outside, but I'm talking to you and I'm saying like if you cooked food, we wouldn't have been here right now. Instead of this outcome, we will have been at home and we would have eaten at home. Okay? I hope this is not too confusing. I mean, in English, there's a difference. There are like types of conditional sentences. I think that one is type 3, if I'm not mistaken. So, same example again. Did you do your homework? Evet or not. Ödevini yapmasaydın şimdi oyun oynayamazdın. If you hadn't done your homework, now you wouldn't have played. Oh yeah, good to good to be confirmed. Correct. The unreal past, like if something had happened, something else would have happened, but it didn't happen. So the current situation didn't go that way. And ödevini yapsaydın şimdi oyun oynayabilirdin. This means, like the translation says, if you had done your homework, now you could have played a game. I will just go with played. So now you could have played. So this means you didn't do your homework and now you can't play. But if you had done the homework, the current situation would have been different. Okay? And why yerdik and not yedik? Because yedik is the simple past tense. It means we ate. We ate food. But yerdik, the combination of aorist, the R is there, is the aorist tense, and the past tense dik, just like the English sentence, instead of saying we ate, I am saying we will have eaten. So this yerdik is we will have eaten. It's not yedi, it's not we ate. It's we would have eaten. So if you have saydı in your if clause, you need to choose a combination of aorist and past tense. So it will be safe to write this code. Like saydı goes to ardı. You use them together like this. If there's saydı in the if clause, like saydı here or saydı here, in the if clause, you use ardı. Okay, great. And I will go back. I will write the I will write another code with this one. Like this one is dıysa. If you have dıysa in your if clause, like dıysa, this result is very flexible. You can either have the future, you can have the continuous. Actually, no, you can't have the continuous. It wouldn't work. But you can't. You could use the models like let's eat, the optative mood, or you can't. You could use the potential mood, like ödevini yaptıysan oyun oynayabilirsin. Um, I will just go with flexible. Maybe like models, maybe future, and there are some other things. This one is flexible. After disa, you can have in the main clause some uh, endings. But with this one, you can only choose arda. Yapsaydın olurdu. Okay. I hope this is clear. So, sorusu olan var mı? Is there anyone who has a question or still confused about this? Before moving to a different tense, I want to answer the questions. I guess not. Nice. So, let's have the mush past tense. Mush past tense doesn't actually have many details. If you know how the mush past tense works, using if clause with mush tense, it will be very easy because for those who don't know, the mush tense instead of the tense, inferential past tense or heard past tense, like you hear from another source or you collect evidences and come to a conclusion. Like you come home, you smell nice food, but you don't know yet. So then you make a conclusion based on the smell. Annem yemek yapmış. My mom, apparently, from what I can tell, made food. So mush tense works that way, and if clause with mush tense also works that way. Like if my mom, like annem yemek yapmışsa, hadi yemek yiyelim. If my mom cooked food, let's eat food. Annem yemek yapmışsa, hadi yemek yiyelim. So I don't know whether or not she did. That's what I'm using, mush. You can also use dıysa in this case. It will be okay, like this alternative. Annem yemek yaptıysa, yemek yiyelim. Hadi yemek yiyelim. This will also be okay, but the mush puts more emphasis on the fact that you will find out in a bit. You still don't know. It's just more fancy way to say this sentence. You can choose either of the options. It doesn't matter. Okay, so if you have examples in your mind, if you want to try, you can try mushsa because as I said, it's very easy actually, so I didn't prepare more examples. Um, is there no Samish form? There's a Samish form, but it's not about unreal past. It's a little bit um, advanced grammar or advanced meaning. It's more like sarcastic. Let me give you an example. Annem yemek yapsaymış. This one is technically possible, but it's more like she should have made food. When you want to be sarcastic about the results, you can use sa-mış structure. Like, for example, you will say this saymış sentence while you are eating outside, and then someone asks you why you didn't eat at home. Then you will say like, annem yemek yapmadı, yapsaymış. Like, I'm here because of her. Okay? So the combination of sa and mış in this order is not about unreal past. It's more like a sarcastic about like should have. He should have done that. You should have done that. So this is like a special case. All right, great. Okay, I will just move to aorist and continuous if clause. Like geliyorsam or gelirsem or gelirsen or geliyorsan. So if you know how aorist and continuous works, the if clause combination will be also easy. But for those who don't know aorist and continuous, aorist is technically the general tense. Like when you say I eat, you will use this. Like I eat eggs in the morning. Sabah kahvaltıda yumurta yerim. And continuous tense, as the name suggests, for progressive actions. Like right now, I am eating eggs. Şu an yumurta yiyorum. But you can use them interchangeably. Instead of using aorist, you can also use continuous. Sabah kahvaltıda yumurta yiyorum. This could mean I am eating eggs right now, or I am eating eggs every morning. Okay, so after this quick reminder, let's just have examples.